Imagine you're having a completely normal day. You're reasonably happy with your life. Then you open your phone. Someone you know just got promoted. Someone else is traveling. Another person is getting married. Someone your age has built a successful business. And suddenly, nothing about your life has changed. But somehow it feels different. Why? Why can another person's success make you question your own? And why does your brain keep looking sideways, even when you were perfectly fine looking forward? You might compare your salary with a colleague, your appearance with someone online, your relationship with a friend's relationship, your career with someone who graduated the same year as you. And sometimes the comparison is so subtle that you don't even notice it happening. You see someone buying a house, and your brain quietly calculates, I'm behind. You see someone exercising every morning. I should be doing more. You see someone who seems confident, successful, and completely in control. Why don't I have my life together? The strange part is that you don't know the full story of the person you're comparing yourself with. You are comparing your entire life with a tiny piece of theirs. And yet your brain can still treat that tiny piece as meaningful evidence. So why does it do this? The obvious explanation is insecurity, but that is only part of the story, because even confident people compare themselves with others, and sometimes comparison is genuinely useful. Imagine you're learning to play tennis. How do you know whether you're improving? You watch someone better. You observe their technique. You compare your performance with theirs. You learn. Comparison can give you information. So the real mystery isn't why do humans compare, it's why does the same psychological process sometimes motivate us and sometimes make us feel worthless? The answer begins with a basic human problem. We often don't know how we're doing until we look around. Imagine you're standing alone in a room holding a test score. You got 72%. Is that good? You don't know. Now someone tells you that the average score was 50%. Suddenly, your 72% feels different. The number didn't change. Your interpretation did. This is one reason social comparison can be psychologically useful. When there isn't an obvious objective standard, other people can become reference points. Psychologists have studied this tendency for decades. Social comparison theory, originally developed by Leon Festinger, proposed that people are motivated to evaluate themselves and may look to others when objective information is unavailable or difficult to interpret. Later research expanded this idea into a much broader understanding of how comparisons influence self-evaluation and behavior. And this is where things become interesting. Because not all comparisons are the same. Suppose you want to become a better writer. You discover an author who is far more experienced than you. You can look at them and think, I will never be that good. Or, this shows me what is possible. Same person. Same achievement. Completely different psychological reaction. This is one reason upward comparison is complicated. Looking upward can make you feel inadequate. But it can also provide a model for where you want to go. The comparison becomes especially painful when the distance between you and the other person feels enormous, or when their success becomes evidence that you are personally failing. Now imagine something else. You open social media, you see 10 people. One has a new job, another is on holiday, someone is getting married, someone is showing their new home, someone is celebrating a fitness transformation, someone is launching a business. Your brain receives dozens of signals about how other people appear to be doing. But here's the problem. You are not seeing a random sample of reality. You're seeing selected information. The difficult day usually isn't posted. The rejected job application isn't posted. The argument isn't posted. The financial stress isn't posted. The uncertainty isn't posted. The boring Tuesday afternoon isn't posted. This doesn't mean that everything online is fake. It means the information is incomplete. And psychologically, incomplete information can become dangerous when we treat it as a complete picture. Research on social comparison and mental health increasingly examines how modern technologies create more opportunities for comparison, while also emphasizing that the relationship is complex rather than universally harmful. And there is another layer. Sometimes we don't compare ourselves with people who are actually similar to us. We compare ourselves with people who are exceptional: the top performer, the most attractive person, the wealthiest entrepreneur, the person who seems to have achieved everything early. Then we look at our ordinary life and wonder why it doesn't look extraordinary. It's like judging your running ability by comparing yourself with Olympic athletes. The comparison isn't necessarily meaningless, but it may be a terrible measurement system for your everyday life. And here's the surprising part. The problem may not be that you're comparing yourself with other people. The problem may be that you're asking the comparison to answer the wrong question. Suppose you see someone who is more successful than you. You could ask, "What does this say about my worth?" Or, "What can I learn from this?" The first question turns another person's success into a verdict about you. The second turns it into information. The person hasn't changed. The achievement hasn't changed. Only the psychological function of the comparison has changed. This is why the goal probably shouldn't be to eliminate comparison completely. That may be unrealistic. The more useful goal is to become better at recognizing what your comparison is doing to you. Is it giving you information? Is it giving you direction? Or is it simply making you feel inadequate? So what can you actually do? First, identify the comparison. When you feel suddenly worse after seeing someone else's success, pause. Ask, what exactly am I comparing? Your career, your appearance, your income, your relationships, your progress? Naming the comparison can make it more specific. And specific problems are easier to think about than vague feelings of being behind. Second, ask whether the comparison is useful. If someone inspires you, extract the information. What did they actually do? What can realistically be learned? But if the comparison only produces shame, you may need to question whether the comparison is giving you useful information at all. Third, compare yourself with a more relevant reference point. Instead of asking, "Am I doing as well as them?" try, "Am I moving in the direction I care about?" That's a completely different measurement system. And finally, pay attention to your information environment. If a particular account repeatedly leaves you feeling inadequate, you don't have to prove that you're strong enough to keep looking at it. You can mute it, unfollow it, or simply reduce your exposure. This isn't about blaming social media. Research on social media and well-being is too complex for that conclusion. A 2024 meta-analysis found that relationships between social networking use and subjective well-being are inconsistent and influenced by multiple factors. The point is simpler. Pay attention to what your environment repeatedly teaches your brain to measure. Maybe the most important thing about comparison is this. You can never win a game if you keep changing the scoreboard. One day, you compare your career. The next, your appearance. Then your income. Then your relationships. Then someone else's lifestyle. And every time you find someone ahead of you, the finish line moves again. So perhaps the solution isn't to become better than everyone else, because there will always be someone ahead. The deeper solution is to become more intentional about deciding what counts as progress in your own life. The next time you see someone succeeding and feel that familiar sting, try asking a different question. Not, "Why am I not where they are?" but, "What is this comparison trying to tell me?" Maybe it is showing you something you genuinely want. Maybe it is revealing a goal you've neglected. Maybe it is simply exposing an unrealistic standard. Or maybe it is reminding you that you have been measuring your real life against someone else's highlight reel. Comparison isn't always the enemy. Sometimes it's a mirror. But the important question is, are you using that mirror to understand yourself or to punish yourself? Because the moment you stop asking other people's lives to tell you what your life is worth, You finally have room to decide that for yourself. If you learned something, subscribe to Mindora for more fascinating insights into psychology, the brain, and human behavior. And if you have any question, ask in the comments section.